Estabon on the ride. How you doing today, man?
I'm great. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing excellent, man. Enjoying life.
Yep. Greatest country in the world we're living in right now.
Oh, yeah?
Greatest country that ever existed in the world, I think, for everybody, no matter whether you're a woman, a man, black, white, brown, purple, sexual orientation, doesn't matter.
For real?
This is the greatest opportunity.
Maybe from other countries might argue that, though. What makes you say that?
Well, the easiest defense for that statement is, what country would you argue is in a better position? What country would you argue?
Well, I wasn't saying I'm the one arguing.
No, but just for argument's sake.
How about Canada?
That's the easiest defense.
How about Canada?
What about Canada?
Nobody's mad at them, and they got free healthcare, right?
So you're determining based whether people are mad at you or what your image is in the world and free healthcare? Yes.
No, I'm just saying that as of right now, there's no conflicts. Nobody has a reason to not want to associate with Canada. So that's what I'm basing it on. To sum it up, is in layman's terms, no one's mad at them.
Right.
But the truth is, no one has any problems with Canada. That people have problems with America. People have problems with Russia and China and all these other countries.
Right.
But who's complaining about Canada?
And what does Canada bring to the table where it's worth you sitting down? And I know they're great, obviously, like you said, nobody has beef with Canada. Nobody has
syrup? Are you kidding me?
Exactly. Well, I love
what does Canada bring?
Okay, but apart from maple syrup, what
hockey?
Else? Of course, the best. Canada is the birthplace of hockey, and they have the best hockey players. But on an international, global level, where these countries are interacting economically and culturally, why would people rather sit down with Canada? Yes, they nobody hates them and nobody has a reason to dislike them. But what do they bring to the table?
But see, here's the thing: is you asked me to bring up someone to compare as an example to your point. But I don't want you to sit here and start bashing the other countries. I want you to start talking about why America is so great. Why is America better to live in than Canada?
Right, America.
Well, let me go back to what I was saying, because you did only mention half of what I said. Okay. Right, and you didn't mention the free healthcare part.
I'll go to that if you'd like me to.
All right.
I believe 100% right now that America should be able to give all of its citizens free healthcare. I agree with that 100%. Should be able. However, because of the leadership we've had for the last 20 years plus, has been lying, cheating. Yeah, and then every once in a while you actually have somebody who's not in it to be corrupt and not in it to help themselves. You actually have a president who wants to make the country great and not just themselves great, because they're already great. And they want to make the country great, even if they suffer personally. So what happens is yes, America should have free healthcare. There's no doubt. However, why are we $20 trillion in debt? Why are we $20 trillion in debt? We can't afford to give. If we were even right now, no debt, no deficit, we're making money every year through our trade decisions, through our trade agreements, which we should, because we offer everything to the world, but we don't, because we've had terrible leadership for the last 20 plus years that have gotten America into a position where, how do we not have free healthcare? The richest country in the world for the last 100 plus years. How do we not have free healthcare? It's because the corrupt politicians lie to you and tell the voters what they want to hear and don't deliver.
Now I got a few questions they sparked up. Because first off, when you say 20 plus years, is there like a definitive moment, or is there a specific president that you're going back to that was the last president that actually did good for us?
I would say Ronald Reagan was the last president that did anything good for the United States. Not anything good, not anything period good, but was the last president that we had that was genuinely in it for the country more than themselves was Ronald Reagan.
Interesting.
It's not about party, it's not about none of that. If you think there's a difference between the Bushes, the Clintons, and the Obamas, they're all the same. They're best friends. They go to each other's birthday parties. They just argue and pretend politics because that's what gets them power. That's what gets them money.
Alright.
You think they disagree on all this? All these topics, all this, they disagree? And then why are they going to everybody's birthday party every year? Why are they going to their functions, invited to their family homes? They're the same thing.
That's what politicians do. They shake hands and kiss babies.
So why did every Republican and every Democrat hate Donald Trump? If all the politicians hated Trump on both sides.
I don't think all the politicians do. If you don't remember correctly, there's the reasons why Trump is president.
Well, the Republican... No, that's not the reason. The reason Trump is president is because the people voted. The Republican... the RNC, the Republican National Convention, or the committee, Republican National Committee, donated how many percent to Trump's campaign versus how much the DNC donated to Hillary's campaign. They gave him nothing. If you look at the top donors for political campaigns, it was all to Hillary Clinton and it was all the big banks. They all donated to Hillary. You think they're going to donate to the rich dude that don't give a damn?
Let me tell you something, though. I don't pick sides. I'm not right or left. I'm not red or blue. But when it comes down to his facts, Donald Trump did not get voted in by the people. He got voted in by the politicians.
I gotta disagree with you 100,000%.
It's not a disagreement.
It is.
It's an actual
Those
fact.
are not facts, brother.
He lost the popular vote.
That's not. But the president doesn't get elected by the popular vote.
But the people, the popular is what creates the popular vote.
Okay.
He was selected by the Electoral vote.
College, yeah, the Electoral College, right?
Which is
how every president gets elected. It's not politicians. What happens is, think about what you have to understand is this: 30% of the country lives in 10 cities. Okay, 30% of the country lives in 10 cities. So just because these people live in states where they're not overpopulated, like New York City, California, why did they have more electoral votes? It's because it's based on population. Now you can't
That's
have.
Not true at all.
Now it is. The Electoral College is based on population.
So you're saying that they have a lesser of a population that the votes are worth more?
No, what it is they have more electoral votes per state if they have more population, but it's balanced and equated to where that just because you have half the country living in 5 states doesn't mean that they overpower the other 45 states. They balance it evenly.
I don't see how you can justify any of that, though. You can't say, oh, because this state has more people living in it, that these people's votes are worth more than the other people's votes.
So say 50% of the country, right, lives in 5 states. Let's just say that, right?
All right.
So the other 45 states, right, say they disagree with everything that those 5 states say, right? So pretend that it's 45 against 5. However, the population of those 5 states is always going to overrule the rest of the country. So how is that fair to the other 45 states? That's how the U.S. take this right here.
Because
this is how this goes down to how the United States is built and how it's covered. It's because it spreads it out evenly.
But see, the problem is you're calling them states. The state isn't what makes the votes. It's the people who live in the state. Mm-hmm. We should be going by those people who individually, not by per state.
I disagree because this is the foundation of what America is built on. America is built on the fact that everybody can spread out and do what they want, but you don't have too much overruling power. You don't have too much overruling authority, and you spread it out, and everybody in their own part of this country can set their own laws within reason according to federal law. But each state, that's why each state's law is different, because people don't think the exact same way everywhere in the United States. But you have to give these people this is why people come to America, is because you have to let people decide how they want to live. So say you disagree with me, but more people agree with me.
Let me.
Should you live in the world that I want to have?
This is what you're telling me. Is that like, okay, so say I vote one way, but majority of people in this state vote a different way, my vote isn't going to count because it's going to go by the majority of the state.
Incorrect. That's not what I'm saying.
That's what it sounds
like. What I'm
like.
saying is that the people in this state vote, right? And we can vote on our own laws within our own state. However, I'm not going to have somebody who lives in Colorado tell me how to live in Florida, because they don't live here. The United States is so big that we separate it to where we here living locally can make our own laws and make our own thing, because we don't. That's the problem with the European Union.
We're talking about presidential candidates, which is a different.
Okay, so people are different in California than New York, correct? People are different from New York to Florida, correct?
Some are.
Everybody's different in Iowa, New York. All the states are different. Okay, so what happens is, just because you have more people living there doesn't mean you get to control the conglomerate. Like, the United States isn't a democracy.
But according to what
but listen. What you have to understand is the United States isn't a democracy, which is why it's not based on population. The United States is a republic. It's a group of different areas that have semi-autonomous rule over themselves, but they don't have they get to have their own rules, right? It's not where we have 300 million people, whoever decides what will do that, whatever the most of those 300 million decide will do that. No, it's not that. America is not a democracy. It's a republic. It's a democratic republic. So what we do, what the United States really is not 360 million people. It's 360 million people separated in 50 different areas, and those 50 different areas come together and decide what the rest of everybody does in the United States. So that's how it works.
So wouldn't you agree that it would? The most fair way to do it, the way that it should be, is that each individual vote should count as a vote.
Absolutely not.
So you believe in the Electoral College?
Absolutely.
So you think just because a state has more people living in it, that those people's votes are worth more than the people in Colorado's votes or Montana's votes because they have less population?
Not at all. I think it should be proportional. So how they equate it, right, is there's a cap. Okay, and you have to divide this number between all the states, because you have to have a set number. You just can't keep giving California extra electoral votes because they keep having more people. You have to divide it between the people, even if they have more people and say another state has less people. Yes, you can take a electoral vote away from that state and give it to California. But there's a process to do it, which makes it fair, which makes the smaller states, which don't have as many people there, have a say. Because
wouldn't it be more fair if you had 7,000 people voting, that would count as 7,000 votes?
Yeah, but how many people are in the United States?
I like how you said
Is it 7? No, but yes.
But that was your answer.
No, 7,000. Correct. 7,000. That's an easy number to do. 360 million people? Yeah,
it's 360 million votes.
So
you don't think our computers are advanced enough to tally 360 million votes?
Absolutely. But then you have, Russian hacking. Then. We're still talking Russian hacking. But okay, so let me ask you this. Let me ask you this. In the whole United States, let's say there's 400 million people, right? Let's say in one city, there's 250 million people. 65% of the population is in one state. Let's just say state. And the other 49 states have less than 50% of the population. Whatever that state decides is going to work. You know what I'm saying?
Because
it's on population.
Because of the Electoral College.
No, I'm saying if you base it on population, all that matters is how many people live there.
And you said the Electoral College is based on population.
I'm saying it's based on a mathematical equation on population divided by the other 50 states. So what the idea is you're giving the people in different states where you don't have 40 million people living in California, So you have fucking Iowa North Dakota. You don't give them even close to as many electoral votes, but you still there's a mathematical equation and a cap on the amount of electoral votes where it's divided by population between the states, where the state has enough power based on population to say what they want to say. Because so LA, New York, Chicago, very populous cities, right? Millions and millions and millions of people. Why does their opinion count more than the farmer in Iowa?
That's my point. So that's the thing. You're agreeing with me without even realizing.
So all these businessmen in LA and all these people, these rich people and city folk, in their opinion,
apparently,
right? So
it's worth more.
So there's 10 million of them.
Apparently, their opinions are worth more than the guy in Iowa's because he doesn't live in a highly populated area.
So why is that?
Because of the Electoral College and the way that
what you're at, incorrect. What you're saying is you said based on population. So if population is running it.
You said Electoral College was based on population. I said it should be based. Votes should be based on individual votes. There should be no it's ands buts.
No, we're running up the meter.
Well, I stopped.
Anyways, anyway, I appreciate this. Great conversation.
Before we wrap this up,
let's wrap it up.
I just want to get the answer to the original question.
Go ahead, real quick.
Why is this the best country for anyone to live in right now?
That has ever existed, period. Yeah. Let alone the best country to live in now.
Yes, why?
Well, I've been very lucky to go all over the world. I've been to 5 continents. I've lived on 3, and I've seen how people live. And when I say that statement, people think I'm disrespecting other cultures. No. I know more about other cultures all over the world than most people do in America. But they want a virtue signal and they want to say things that they don't understand what's going on. So the difference in America is if you work hard, which everybody has done no matter where you're from in the history of the world to this day, if you work hard, you can succeed. Yes, you have to start at the bottom. But you can make it to the top. Anywhere in Asia, anywhere in Africa, half the places in Europe, but most places in Europe now, you don't have the opportunities that you have in America. All you have to do is work hard and you'll succeed. Yes, there's racism. Yes, there's sexism. There's that everywhere in the world. And you won't believe me, but it's more prevalent in those other cultures. Asia, Africa, it's prevalent. South America, it's prevalent in that culture. But people who say that America is terrible and America sucks, I guarantee you they have not lived in another culture, with another culture, on another continent. They don't know the real life. I've seen people living in shipping containers.
For real. That's sad.
It's terrible, and I want to help them. But what can I do?
No, for real. I had a guy telling me about
opportunity is the answer. I'm sorry, we got to wrap this up because I got to go home and the meter's running up like a motherfucker. But opportunity is the answer. Name anywhere in the world that no matter on your skin color, your age, or your sex, you can go right now and you'll have a better opportunity than America. Yes, there's racists and sexists and fucking homophobes, whatever. There's that everywhere in the world. But they don't have the opportunity America does. And America's racists and sexists are all less than everywhere in the world and all the other cultures. If you think America is the most racist, sexist, homophobic, I got news for you. You need to travel. Because they kill people to this day. They kill them alive to this day for that behavior. And that's it. If you don't mind, stop recording. I really appreciate the conversation.
Man, I appreciate it. It's been a real educational one for
10 million views. Or you think I'm bullshit?
Let's get it. You guys have a good one.
Obviously, I want dolphin.
What was the other one?
A majestic, beautiful animal from the sea.
I have one drink. About 45 minutes later, I realize I can barely stand. And
His name was Brett Kavanaugh.
Oh.
Too soon?
Too soon?
Sorry.
Not soon enough.